Hello, 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 hello. Welcome for another episode of Market Leader Live. It's your host with the most, your main man, Darren M. Palmer. So excited to be with you for another episode where we talk about nothing other than being a market leader, what it takes, what you need to be equipped with, what is the mindset, what are the strategies that you need, how do you need to pivot, even if it's in a trying time, to continue to elevate and go to the next level at whatever particular industry that you're in. So today is we're talking about my oak tree store. Those who were listening today, who follow me on any social media platforms, I got so much love. People DMing me, sending me instant messages about the oak tree store. Like, Darren, where did you come up with the oak tree store? I shared where I got that from. I got that from a mentor of mine, but he got it from somebody. It's an old age store. It's an old store of the oak tree and the little oak tree. And it's so relevant to every area in our lives, whether it's you as someone who's married, if it's you as a market leader, if it's you in education, if you are a professor or a teacher at a local elementary. It doesn't matter. All of us can relate with the oak tree store. So I know some of you missed it today. You could go on any of my social media platforms. I was doing my morning workout, and it started raining and some other stuff going on when I was out there working out, and I just was able to share during my time of prayer and meditation of some of the things that I was able to experience and what I've been able to notice and running the parallels together of the oak tree store as far as when things get a little bit difficult, when the winds start to blow, when the storms come in life, how most people fold like a lawn chair at the family picnic or the family reunion, and they wonder why they're not getting the results that they're desiring in life. They're wondering why that they can't seem to see an idea come through. They wonder why things just don't quite get over the hump. Is because they quit too easy. They give up. The difference, and I'm going to go in this a little bit more here shortly, the difference between those who win and those who lose is not anything to do with intellect every time. It's not that someone has a better work ethic all the time. Sometimes it's just as simple as that one person quit and the other person didn't. One person was willing to make mistakes and learn along the way. One person was so caught up on being a perfectionist that they never moved at all, and they justified the inaction that I need to make sure that it's right. So when we talk about the oak tree, those who were able to look at my post, if we're recording this live right now, if you're watching this as a rebroadcast, then you would just have to go on one of our pages and catch that. I think that I'm going to upload it on our YouTube page so people can have it. I've already put it on our Instagram. It's on our IG stories, so you can check that out. But basically, it goes like this. I'm working at this morning, the storm come, but I brought up the oak tree. But I noticed that typically on this trail or whatnot where I work out at, that, it's more people when it's beautiful outside, when the temperature is just right. You can't hardly be on the trail too much because it's more and more people that were coming out. People are realizing that at the time of this recording, they're allowing for people to get back out somewhat after the COVID-19 situation. You have people who are excited to get out. Now it's time to get summertime fine. People, they're looking to catch, so they don't want to look good, to be summertime fine, to be in better health, whatever the thing is that they're here to do. And I just noticed that when the weather change or when it's not ideal to be outside or to do that workout, that most of those same people fall off and you don't see them nowhere around. It's similar to like a gym. At the beginning of the year, a gym typically is full. Those who I have as consultants or clients who are in the gym industry, who own gyms, then they will share too that some of their biggest numbers are during the beginning of the year, towards the end of December, beginning of the year, because what everyone says, the main way of doing things, new year, new me. This is the time that I got to get ready. I got to drop those 15 pounds. I got to do this. I got to drink more water. I got to save more money. I mean, it goes on and on and on and on. But we also been able to see the statistics that a few weeks after that, that majority of the people fell off a few weeks after that. There's no consistency in what's going on. So I brought that up today because it was inconvenient working out this morning because, for one, I was prepared just to go out and work out with the gear I had far as the day as it was. You know, just a nice, beautiful day, you know, great little breeze. I'm normally working out at that time anyway, so it's a cooler part of the day. But I was able to watch as I was moving that normally when the sun is rising, because we beat the sun up, normally when the sun is rising, you can kind of tell it. But I noticed that the clouds, because of the storm, were coming through and it was moving at a rapid pace. And I was just able to see the tree limbs and things move and shake as the storm was coming through, with a few scattered showers here and there. But I could tell that it was, you know, gradually picking up. But I noticed something, that it was one person that was there. They had started working out like around the same time I did, a little bit after. And then I noticed that they showed up. But then all of a sudden, the storm started coming in. And I don't say storm, it started raining, but it was pretty good. And it rained, and, you know, most of the people who are normally there didn't even show up. And that was before the storm. So it's not like the storm was there or the showers were there beforehand. And then the other person fell off. But I knew in my mind that I'm doing 10 miles a day. So I know every 5 days a week, I'm doing 10 miles, regardless of what's going on, regardless if it's raining, regardless if me and my wife don't like each other that day, regardless if the kids did something, regardless if a staff member didn't do something, regardless if a client ran me hot, regardless if the Republicans is running something, regardless if the Democrats is running something, regardless of what's going on in the world, that's what I'm going to do, because I can control the controllables. So why am I bringing this up? Because to be a market leader, you got to keep in mind, you have to have your mind made up on a goal or a target that you're going after. If you are desiring financial freedom, then you need to make the necessary moves to get financial freedom. If you're desiring to be in better health, a better shape, you got to make a decision that that's what it is. If you desire to have your relationship be what you desire for it to be, then you need to make a decision. Most people fail because they won't make a decision. What do you mean by that, Darren? That ain't making sense. People have made a decision. No, they haven't made a decision. What I mean by making a decision is as my grandmother used to say, come hell or high water, it is what it is. You either did it or you didn't do it. Oh, no, don't say it, Darren. Don't go there. Don't go there. Yes, I went there, people. Either you did what you say you was going to do or you didn't do what you say you was going to do. We keep finding these little areas of purgatory where we come up, this little middle ground, this Mona in the middle situation that we've created, that to justify ourselves. And, you know, and sometimes we call it to call it a white lie and all this right here. Hey, if you're a market leader, do you know either the job got done or it didn't get done? Did you send the email or you didn't send the email? Did you call the people or you didn't call the people? Did you make payroll or you didn't make payroll? See, we have to stop with the excuses when it comes to what we're designing in life if you're going to be a market leader. So if you're saying that you are in business, if you're saying that you're going to be a parent, you're going to have to be a parent when you like your kids and when you don't like your kids. I didn't say you didn't love them. I know some of you questioning if you're loving them right now. I know, but it's all right. Don't shout out. I don't want CPS called on nobody on here on this show. But at the same time, you still got a parent regardless how you feel. Those who might be married or in a relationship, it's not going to be peaches and cream with everybody who you with all the time. You're going to have to be able to work through not agreeing on everything, not seeing eye to eye on everything. That's just part of life. Because if you don't, and this is where we're going with the oak tree story as well, you'll find yourself hopping from one situation to another situation. Okay, let me give you some examples. Some of you might do, let's just say, I'm going to use network marketing as an example. You were so fired up about network marketing. You knew it was a great idea. You can't understand why the rest of the world don't understand that that's a great idea and they should be doing it. Then all of a sudden you get tired because you done got a few no's. People are not, they shine away from you because you want to have all these demos and they don't want to be a part of it. Now all of a sudden you're saying and thinking that it's something wrong with the network marketing company that you're with. Okay, let me go a little bit deeper in this. I'm gonna bring it for the church people on this one now. Isn't it amazing that you hopping from church to church to church and nobody is right at any of the churches you go to, but you seem to think that you're right, but you keep going from church to church to church looking to be right. And so I want you to have an understanding that it might not be the churches that you're going to. You know, after you've been to 15, it might not be them. It could be you. It could be you. So I want you to think about this today when we're looking at the story and we're talking about the oak tree story. Could it be you with the issue? Could it be you that's having the problems everywhere you go? I had to realize this. Now, I'm just going to tell, I'm not telling anybody else's story. I had to realize this as far as me when it came to relationships. I remember that I was thinking, oh man, so-and-so did this. Oh man, you know, where are the good women? Oh man, blah, 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 blah. But I had to realize and ask myself, finally I had to do as Michael Jackson once said, look at the man in the mirror and say, Darren, are you a good man for a relationship? Oh, we getting thick in here today. Are you the right person to be in a relationship with somebody? Because it's a problem with everybody in your relationships, but you. The common denominator in every one of these relationships are you. So you have to look at yourself and self-assess yourself and say, wait a minute, what's happening after the honeymoon stage? What's happening where it seems like everybody either a jerk or everybody is doing something wrong? What's happening after we take down the veil and the veil is torn of us all perpetrating and showing our best self to someone? When they see the ugly us that we don't want nobody to see at the beginning, when the veil is torn and they see the crazy you, the crazy me, are they willing to stay with you when they dealing with the crazy you? It's easy when nobody don't have to pay bills with you to deal with you. It's easy when we got to start talking about money management. It's easy until we start talking about what we're going to go to church at or what we're going to do. It's easy to, I got to turn down the fellas night out and can't play video games all night, to go hang out and drink with the fellas all night because I'm in a relationship. It's easy when I got to not just hang and have girl nights out all the time if you're going to be in a relationship with somebody. The same way it's easy in business when you just saying, oh, I'm going to go get a business. I'm going to Kiko's and I'm going to go to Staples and I'm going to go get office furniture. And you don't know, this has been on my heart for so long. I've got my DBA now. I've got my LLC because I want to be legit. Or if you got a partnership, you got an LLP. And it's so amazing to be in business. And you got your header now. So you want to make sure that everything is aligned when you go type it out. And you got your footer because you are a CEO and you are the president and you are the founder of this nonprofit and you are this and that and that and this until you get bust in the face with life. When the donations ain't coming in for the nonprofit the way that you thought they were going to come in. When people aren't buying your product or service or investing in the company like you thought they were. Family, friends, and loved ones have turned their back on you that you thought they were going to support you. Nobody understands your vision. Your husband don't understand your vision. Your significant other, your wife doesn't understand your vision. The kids don't care about your vision. Now will you continue to fight the good fight of faith and stay in the ring to see your dreams accomplished? When you've invested $500, then $1,500, then $10,000, then $15,000, then $50,000, then $100,000, but you still investing but you hadn't turned a profit yet? Can you stay in the ring? Can you have an oak tree mentality? Can you stay deeply rooted into who you are and be able to weather the storm? Because it's not about what you say, it's about what you do. It's how long that you stay in the game, because most people will fall out, even though they might be talented, even though they might be smart, they can't stand the rain. When it rains, it pours. It's just like Morton's. It's just like salt. When it rains, it pours, and most people can't handle it. They can't handle knowing that their significant other is not supporting them. They can't handle it that family, friends, and loved ones said that they were going to attend the event. Then people didn't show up to the event and they started dodging and ducking their calls. See, when you're looking at being a market leader, before you can be a market leader, you got to be in business. You got to be doing something, period, to evolve into being a market leader. But on the journey to being a market leader, that's where you got to have the mental toughness for success. You got to wake up, even though it might not look the way you want it to look in your bank account. You got to wake up and continue to serve and have a smile on your face when all hell is breaking loose in your life. You got to wake up and do what you need to do, even though the bill collectors are calling and people are wanting stuff done from you or whatnot. You got to get up, even though at family functions, everybody might be laughing about your quote unquote little business or ministry that you have. You got to continue to get up and perform at a top-notch level, even though you're not seeing any progress at what you're doing, far as monetary means or people applauding you, saying that you have arrived and that you have made it. So when you're looking at being a market leader, you got to have the oak tree story. I've shared this before. I'm going to close it out again with this one, the oak tree. Now, I've heard this from a mentor, Bishop Ivy Hilliard from New Light Christian Center in Houston, Texas. And the story goes of the oak tree, the big oak tree and the little oak tree. The little oak tree asked the big oak tree, he said, "Am I an oak tree?" The big oak tree said, "No, you're not a big oak tree." He said, "I got limbs like you do." The big oak tree said, "No, you're still not an oak tree." He said, "Well, I got leaves just like you do." He said, "No, you're still not an oak tree." Years went by with this dialogue between the big oak tree and the little oak tree. And all of a sudden, a horrific storm came through, tore up everything around the big oak tree and the little oak tree. Trees were bent over, never did get back straight again or regain their posture. Some trees were snapped in half. Some houses was destroyed. Schools was destroyed. But all of a sudden after the storm, even though the big oak tree was shaking and bent over a little bit, after the storm, the big oak tree stood up tall, shook its leaves and its branches, and looked forward. And what do you know? The little oak tree was bent over as well, but went over, stood up straight, shook its leaves, shook its branches, and looked forward. The big oak tree, without the little oak tree saying anything, said, "Now today, you are an oak tree." See, it wasn't about the little oak tree just saying, "Am I an oak tree?" because it was just there. You know if you're an oak tree or not if you're able to weather the storms of life. You don't know who you are until you've been tested. And when the storms of life come, we're going to see if you're going to fight or flight. Are you going to pray harder or you just going to quit and throw in the towel? We're going to see if you really about that life as a business owner, because guess what? That piece of paper, that LLC, that DBA, that LLP is not going to save you when you get punched with life and the storms of life hit you. When things aren't right in your business and you're having issues, you're dealing with a lawsuit, you're dealing with things not going your way, the funds is not showing up. It's not going to be able to save you. Some of us have been hit with a storm called COVID-19. Some of us have been hit with a storm called the pandemic. But I want you to understand right now, some of us with injustices out in the world, regardless of what side you're on. Some of you are stressed about all the stuff that you're watching in the news. But I'm here to tell you, if you're going to be an oak tree, you're going to have to be deeply rooted in what you believe in. See, when you're an oak tree, your morals, your beliefs, your standards, and what you're holding on to allows for you to grip hold to your why, allow for you to be able to withstand the trials and tribulations that most fall and faint and give up on. Where most are throwing up the white flag, you have an understanding that you burned the ships. There's no turning back. Uphill we go. It's like D-Day with Normandy. There's no turning back. Either we win or we die. It's a certain level of performance of those who know that everything is on the line. Now, I'm not telling you to go sell everything and do what you need to do, but it's a reason why Elon Musk is getting rocket ships into space right now and working on having others be able to go out and go on trips. There's a reason why Elon Musk was able to take on Ford and Mercedes-Benz and things like that or whatnot with Tesla, because he was willing to think different. See, no matter who you are, you got to have an oak tree mentality if you want to see your dreams come true. If you want your kids to be who you want them to be, and you want to be the parent you want to be, you're going to have an oak tree moment. If you want that nonprofit, that ministry that you know they could serve and help so many people, if you want that to be beneficial for the masses, then you're going to have to do things a little bit different. You're going to have to withstand some storms in life to see that oak tree moment. Because if your why is right, then your emotions are going to be right. And then you're going to take the amount of action that you need to take. Because see, if you're not an oak tree, if you're a pine tree, if you just one of these little old trees out here that soon as the wind blow, you done tumbled over, you uprooted. That's how some of us are when it comes to things that we say that we care about. It's too much of straddling the fence and a mindset of entitlement that I'm owed something. It doesn't matter if you got an LLC. It doesn't matter that you're giving yourself a president of your so-called company that you have. Just like it doesn't matter if someone gave you a title of a leader. It doesn't matter unless you're able to lead effectively. They can call you the lead person. They can call you manager. They can call you prime minister. They can call you whatever they want to call you. But if you are not leading the right way, then people are not going to follow you. It's simple as that. The proof is in the pudding. So today's episode, I'm just here to tell you, don't get caught up on titles. Don't get caught up on just certifications alone. Don't get caught up on just degrees. I brought it up with the LLCs, the LLPs, the DBAs if you're a business owner. The same thing is if you're in education. If you got all kind of degrees, but you don't have enough go get it to be able to work that degree, you feeling entitled. You feeling entitled because you thought, because you went and started a business, the business was supposed to come to you. Some of you think just because you went and got a degree, and I got a degree, I'm not knocking it, but I don't feel entitled because I got a degree. I know I got to bootstrap it. I got to still go and get it. Nobody's really caring about, if you hadn't noticed the latest things that's going on in the world, nobody's really caring about your degree if you can't do something else, if you don't know how to be an oak tree and survive and make it and do the things you need to do to be able to assist that company or create your own, whatever you need to do. You're going to have to add more to it than just saying, I went to school. You can go and have the best wedding in the world. You can go to Bora Bora. Oh, man, the reception was so wonderful. Oh, did you see all the delicacies that they had? Oh, the fresh fruit was immaculate. Oh, my goodness, what a wonderful time. Oh, they changed dresses. They changed outfits 7 times. Oh, but is that going to help you on day one of your marriage? This is what I'm talking to you about today. This is the oak tree story. You got to be able to weather the storm if you're going to be a market leader. Hey, but until next time, you got to be a market leader. Now, I got to see what's going on now. I got a little blood here. But see, this is my old football days. Y'all see me, I got my tiger hat on. I got a little blood on here on my beard or whatnot. But y'all see that? Still did the interview anyway. I'm over here having a Rocky Balboa moment over here. I got blood on my cheek on this interview. See, it get real in here. See, you got to have an oak tree moment. I had some blood on me, but I still did the interview because that's what oak trees do, baby. We stand the test of time. It doesn't matter what everybody else do. Most people don't have it. They can't take a punch. They won't punch back. They won't fight. They're not willing to fight for what they want. So that's why for those who you out there who keep fighting, keep perfecting, keep learning, stop making excuses, stop feeling entitled. And I'm telling you that it's going to break. You're going to get the success that you desire. You owe it to you to be the best version of yourself. Until next time, it's your man, Darren M. Palmer, Chief Book Officer with Self-Publishing 30 Days, coming to you for another episode of Market Leader Live. Remember, y'all, don't just be a pine tree. Don't be a palm tree. Be an oak tree. Stand the test of time. I'll holler at y'all.